Hey guys, here's a pretty easy project, and now that I got a working surface grinder again, I'm going to sharpen up a slitting saw. Now this has been thinned. You can see I've surface ground it, and I've taken it down to it's 100,000, so it's a tenth of an inch slitting saw. It's a 36 tooth, which makes things really easy. And what I use it for is that little relief in there. I just cut through a small relief in the little squares to create a relief in down by the angle. Now, and you know, I was using it in this arbor. This is just a shop-made arbor, and I was plowing through a bunch of squares. And you know, when you start a pair of squares, if you don't think you can finish them, you probably shouldn't push it. I touched it up by hand a little bit, 36 times, go around with a diamond file and just touch up all the little leading edges, but it's ready for a resharpen. This has been resharpened before, but I thought I'd show you how to do it. We're going to unwrap the Spindex. It goes in a 7/8 collet, and the reason I say 36 tooth is really easy is because when we index, 36 divided by 360 degrees is 10. So every 10 degrees we stop and make a grind. So we're going to get set up on the surface grinder, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a Spindex. And anyone that's used slitting saws can probably appreciate this. That these things are kind of expensive, and they really don't last too long. So trying to get your money's worth out of a slitting saw. You can probably sharpen them 3, 4, or 5 times before they need to be replaced. Now this one's been sharpened before, but what you lose is the gullet, is the chip carrying capability. But I'm just doing light little cuts. And like I say, this thing's been thinned, so it's been, on the surface grinder, you just plop it down on the table and and thin it up. Now what you lose is the thinning that the factory does. A typical slitting saw is thick out at the outer diameter and then gets thinner as it gets towards the middle to offer some clearance. Now you do lose that, but if you're doing shallow cuts, it doesn't make any difference. So this is a one-trick pony. This is all I use this guy for, and I'm going to go ahead and keen it up, and let me get it set up on the surface grinder, and I'll bring you back. Okay, here's the setup, and it's pretty simple. I mean, the Spindex is just bumped into the rear fence, so it's square. The wheel's been dressed. I dressed it before I raised it up, and then there's our 36 tooth slitting saw, and I got the first tooth marked at 0, and have each tooth with red dollar store Dicom, and it's just going to be 10 degrees in between cuts, so it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's not too hard to do. I'm going to get you set up on a mag base and touch off to my first one, and I've got stop set. I've got this stop set so that when I bump in right here, when this guy bumps, I don't take the risk of running into my disc of the Spindex with the actual wheel. And I'm making it past center. You get the center of the wheel here, but the slitting saw is going to make a pass all the way across and get the full circumference of the wheel, or the full diameter of the wheel. So it's going to go past center. All right, but you need to make sure of that. Make sure you're not digging in or doing anything funny with that. But outside of that, that's a pretty good setup. Let me get you guys on a mag base, and we'll see if we can clean this thing up. brings us back around to 0. Now there was a couple that I missed, and I'm going to that actually didn't even contact. So I'm going to give it about a half a thou down feed and go around one more time and see if we can get them all trued up. Now from the time that I did my cutting on this and dulled the tool, it's never come off of this arbor, so it should be clamped in so it runs very concentric. I have never met a slitting saw that's concentric, so it's going to be interesting to see if this trues this thing up and makes it cut full diameter or not. I've never met a wheel that did, but so let's give it a half a thou down feed and go around one more time. And there you have it. That's a Spindex sharpening for a slitting saw. Now I didn't get all the pen off. You know, this one just touched on this right side. This one missed a little. Try to get you down, maybe see that edge a little better. But it's really keen. Again, you either want to grind sideways across it this way, or if you can get your wheel in this way to turn against the cutting edge, that way you don't roll a wire edge over the actual cutting edge. And I don't think I'm going to touch these up. I'm just going to run it the way it is in the machine. But yeah, that was a quick touch up, took less than 10 minutes, and you're back in biz again, as long as you have a working surface grinder. All right guys, thanks for watching.